11 a.m.
All right. Well, yeah, I mean, I think we're right on the button here. I'll maybe just say hi. Welcome people. And there's probably going to be more people that are joining us. So my name is Brent Friese. I'm the chair of the commercial chapter. And today we're Rich in particular has spent a lot of time putting together a wonderful presentation of a bunch of different speakers. And so our purpose is just to introduce you to leaders in the industry and what they're doing. And so we're going to be going 15 minutes for each speaker, and we'll go from there. All right, if you have any questions, we're going to try and leave like some time in the 15 minutes, but it's going to be pretty rapid fire. You can always do a message at the bottom, and then the people presenting today will have like contact info if something stood out or they'd love to have a follow-up conversation. I mean, that's part of the goal here. So there we go. We're going to get started with the BC Construction Association. Chris, as the president of the BC Columbia Construction Association, take it away, Chris.
Well, thanks for having me, and it's great to be part of and great to be invited to Fenestration Canada for the online career fair. I'm here today representing the BC Construction Association, and my goal today is just to introduce you to BCCA and what we do, an assortment and array of the assets that we provide, who our partners are, what our priorities are, and how we can assist you. We're here for all of industry, and we want to make sure that we increase that awareness to what we're doing here in British Columbia. So in BC, first of all, we position ourselves. We're provincial, nonprofit, we're nonpartisan, and we endeavor to position ourselves as a trusted champion for BC's construction industry. We have four provincial partners in the Northern Regional Construction Association, the Southern Interior Construction Association, Vancouver Island Construction Association, and the Vancouver Regional. They are our integrated partners whose membership comes forward to BCCA, and we are further networked to the Canadian Construction Association. That's how our integrated federated membership works. But throughout British Columbia, and it's great to see some other colleagues and counterparts on this call as well. We are networked across industry and consider ourselves one of many industry serving partners. Some of the things that we've done in the past is, of course, we lead with advocacy, fair, open, transparent procurement, prompt payment, everything that's going on with tariffs. I'll post our website at the end so people can go and take a look. But we're here first and foremost to help employers, and we've heard more than ever in recent years that employers need help finding qualified workers. They want to grow their businesses. They want to plan for retirement and succession, and they want to access business opportunities and expertise. And on the flip side, when it comes to attraction, what we're doing for individuals to find the appropriate matches, to discover construction careers, to explore the high opportunity occupations that exist in construction, and really promote the industry as one that has an incredible opportunity and future in it, given all of the announcements on building and infrastructure and housing that we have. We position ourselves as a solutions first, as a solutions-based advocate, and we lead with solutions. So this page just outlines a number of the things that we do. Industry practices is our gateway to hold the government's feet to the fire on their procurement practices and legislation that they can bring in to make business possible in British Columbia. And we really lead the country in a number of our positions and advocacy points. I'm not going to go through all of these logos, but a couple of them that I will touch on. We've had a benefits plan at BCCA for the better part of 55 years. Bid Central over on the right is a platform where projects or any project across British Columbia is scraped from bids and tenders from BC Bid, and it really coordinates all the construction projects into one place in Bid Central and provides an array of services and opportunities for industry companies. But the largest scope of the logos that you'll see on here, whether it's Builders Code, integrating newcomers, Talent Central, building builders, there's mentorship, there's job placements, there's welcoming new Canadians, there's connecting people in communities in British Columbia to job opportunities, and all of these are free for employers to access. So please, I would say take a look at the BCCA website, and I'll go into a bit of detail on some of these later. But these are incredible resources, and that we've made available and developed over years of putting workforce needs of the industry first. Some of the important work that we do is development of statistics for the industry. We have a fall and a spring stat pack. The timing of this webinar didn't allow for us to get the fall stat pack out to you in time, but this just really emphasizes our efforts to elevate the industry. We usually release the spring stat pack during Construction and Skilled Trades Month in British Columbia. And it's important that we're making sure that the government and the public sees the economic value of the construction industry. 10% of BC's GDP, more than 250,000 people work in BC's construction industry, and more than 28,000 employers are working in British Columbia's industrial, commercial, institutional, and multi-unit residential sector. The average wage just keeps climbing up, and that might be not great news for many employers who are on this call, many members who we talk to on a regular basis, but it's a reality of the economy. It's a reality of demand, and that represents about a 38% increase over the past 5 years of us tracking this. The one thing it does do is it makes people start to pay attention that we're recession proof, we're pandemic proof, we're a good place for people to come where they can be debt free coming out of school. So it's a wonderful thing for us to lead with, to say there's tremendous high opportunity occupations that exist in our industry. And one of the areas that we're working hard is to diversify the makeup of the workforce in construction. It's traditionally been 95% male, and we've got we have goals to have 10% female participation by as soon as 2028. And some of our initiatives work hard to support that, and I know some of our colleagues are leaning in hard on that ambition for us to make sure that we're diversifying our workforce. So that's our stat pack. So one of the programs I'm just going to touch briefly on is a new initiative that kind of aggregates many of our workforce solutions programs. Talent Central has been created to serve both employers' needs and job seekers' needs. And it builds on the success that we had with our apprenticeship services program about creating a level of optimism and enthusiasm for working in the industry, and a sense of pride about this is what a builder looks like. And it's projecting people doing things that aren't their job. It's about using the job to create a lifestyle. And in a place like British Columbia, there's a lot of lifestyle to be had outside of your job. So this becomes a marketplace. This is like our Indeed for construction. This is where job seekers can post their profiles and post their resumes. Employers can post their jobs. We make the matches, or the matches are organically found. But beyond that, it's a catalog of resources for job seekers. If they're not quite ready, where do they go and get their credentialing? For employers, other resources that we or our industry partners have. This is where it's listed. So employers are finding things that they didn't even know existed when time is precious. So Talent Central is something that I would encourage you all to bookmark and find and take advantage of to the extent that you can. One other important thing, we focused for generations on the attraction of talent, but we recognized pre-pandemic that we were doing a great job of attracting people through high opportunity occupations, good jobs, well-paying jobs, but we were doing a crappy job of keeping them there because our culture was inherently poor in the construction industry. So those business leaders who are going to have success in the future need to change their culture. They need to change their workplace culture by removing things that were historically okay, things like bullying, hazing, harassment, discrimination. All of those things need to be systematically eradicated from the workplace for your own protection, but also to create a sense of safety and productivity on all job sites, which should be the ultimate goal for all employers. So Builders Code is our statement. It's again, it's a top-down approach. It's an industry-led. It's an opt-in, sign a pledge, organize some training, take an employer's scorecard to take the barometer of your workplace culture. Because if you're not paying attention to your culture, you're not really serious about attracting and retaining the workforce that you need. So it all works together. Builders Code is a critical piece of any employer's future in the construction industry. And there are other complementary programs that are saying the same things. They're just saying it in a different way, but we all want the same things, and that's safe and productive job sites. Um, Another thing, because you know where to go to if you want to find things out about workforce solutions. Off the get-go, we were talking about chaos and uncertainty. One thing that BCCA has been emphatic about for more than a decade has been bringing in prompt payment legislation and adjudication to British Columbia. We have been on this pretty fervently for the past number of years. And this year, the Attorney General's office has announced that they would strike a team to try to put legislation together for the industry. We are hopeful that that legislation will be tabled at the fall sitting of British Columbia's legislature so we can become more in line with the rest of the nation, specifically Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and other jurisdictions, including the federal government, that has brought in prompt payment and adjudication. We feel that we may be stopping short of any sort of reform to our Lien Act, which will still be an outstanding advocacy thing for us to focus on. But it should be an incredible starting point for British Columbia to receive this royal assent of prompt payment and adjudication. And that's something that we've been leading and working very hard on that. So I would encourage you to just take a look at our website. Everything from workforce solutions to advocacy to current events and serving the needs of industry are always paramount importance to us as an industry serving association. So with that, I know time is precious. I will open it up to any questions or turn it over to the next presenter. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks, Chris. Yeah, does anybody have questions for Chris? While we're waiting, I'm just going to give a shout out to Paul and Otto as co-chairs of the Fenestration Canada's Glass and Glazing Recruitment Task Group. They're part of the people that put this on, and there we go. We really appreciate their contribution.
Brent, it's Terry. There's a question in the Q&A. Can you see that?
Perfect. I didn't
Yeah,
see
I
that.
just
Look
saw
at
that, and it's regarding the stat pack. We published the stat pack in April and again late October. So a fall and spring stat pack are produced by the BCCA annually.
Love the stat pat. The stat I look for it every fall and spring as well. Great information and love the way you present it.
Great. Super. Well, Chris, thank you so much. We're going to keep going. If there's a way to contact you, Chris, do people, I guess, through the website and kind of see the resources that are there? Oh, you're just muted.
I'll put my
Yep.
email in the chat before I sign off as well. Thank you.
Oh, that's
Thanks,
great.
Chris.
Thanks so much. Okay, next up is the BC Center for Women in the Trades by Tammy Lee Hawkins. Tammy, take it away.
Thank you for that lovely introduction. I will just screen share. Can everybody see that? Is it working?
Slow.
Are we good?
It's coming. It's laggy. There you go.
I apologize. So my name is Tammy Lee Hawkins, and I'm presented to you from the BC Center for Women in Trades. I would like to start off, oops, sorry, like that. Well, I'd like to start off by saying that I'm joining you today from the traditional territory of the Lataco Dene Nation, commonly known as Quesnel, British Columbia. And I welcome you, if you would like to share in the chat where you're joining me from. Our BC Centre for Women in Trades, we work with 204 nations in British Columbia. I would also like to let you know that I myself today am feeling really under the weather, so I do apologize if I sound really raspy. I'm really not feeling quite well. So if I stop to take some water breaks, it's just because of that. I have a very sore throat. So who is BCCWITT and what are we all about? The BC Centre for Women in Trades is a partnership that is led by diverse tradespeople along with industry labor partners. BCCWITT provides connection, funding, resources, and supports for women and equity priority tradespeople across the province. We offer many programs that can provide tools, resources to individuals and organizations that support the attraction, retention, and advancement of women and equity priority people in the skilled trades. And basically, we are a hub, and that's one of the things. So currently, when we think about what are we doing, we are trying to be supportive and really look at what's needed in the community and what women are coming to us with. On our governance board, it's really important to note that our governance committee that's how we're led by tradeswomen. So tradeswomen are part of our governance. And so they're on the job sites every day and they are letting us know what's happening, what needs to change, what we're doing right. And so that's really what leads us. So when we're looking at like, how are we guided? We are guided by the people that are on the boots on the ground every day. Our staff, we have a small staff. When people sometimes they think of the BC Centre for Women in Trades, it sounds like a center. It sounds really, really large. We're just really great people that are trying to do really good work. And I'm really proud of the team that we have. And what I like to point out to employers and to any participants is that, you may be working with any of us. We're a team here at BCCWITT. And so what we do is where the work is needed, that's where we direct the workforce to. So we don't have one person that's necessarily doing one whole project. It's our team that's doing the project. And I just think that's important to know because sometimes employers get attached to one person. And sometimes that person happens to be me. And I have a really good team that's behind me. So I like to mention that. And it's nice to see their pictures so you can see who you're talking to. One of the things that's our main program is trades training employment. When BCCWITT came into existence, it came into existence because tradeswomen went and lobbied the government and said, we need to see some changes. And so in 2017, a report was done. That report can be found on our website. If you're not familiar with it, it's a really lengthy read, but it's actually really good. And there were 3 pillars that came out of it. It was that women weren't getting hired, or they weren't getting promoted, or they weren't getting even an opportunity to take training. So with those things, BCCWITT was formed. And in the trades training and employment for employers, what we offer is we work with women who have either graduated from foundations programs, who have little or no experience, or they have taken some kind of training and like try a trade. And we work to identify what skills they have that could be cross-transferable. We work to identify employers that are seeking them, and we make matches. And I'm proud to say that with our employment program, we have really, really good retention. I just looked so I could tell you before we came, and we, for our last year, was at 92%, which is very, very high. So 92% of the women that were hired were in their position after 1 year. So it's really positive for us here at our place. So what can we provide? So since 2019, we have provided almost 500, it's 497 women with supports to start employment in the trades. We do things such as resume preparation, networking. We can do short-term occupational tickets. We help with personal protective equipment. Some of the time it's sourcing a harness can be very difficult. I was working with a woman that was at Site C, really trying to get a harness that would fit her. Those types of calls is what we get because it's a safety. We also can help with things like childcare top-up, tools. We had a woman that was starting as a heavy-duty mechanic, and the tool cost was so much. So we had to do a special request for her to, have a more tool allowance because for her to start that position was going to cost a lot more money than someone starting a different. So our programs are designed, and we do have the availability to fit unique individual needs. Yes, we do have parameters, but we also can work outside of them for special needs, such as, like harnesses and, different things like that. We have a new program, very excited. It's Show Up for Safer Workplaces. This is an initiative. It is a WIF, a Workforce Innovation Fund project that is a joint project with the OH&S Center and BC Center for Women in Trades. It is a new approach to workplace culture, and it is a train the trainer program, and it is to address the psychological safety. It's to address psychological injury prevention. This program, we did do a first pilot, and we are having a first cohort in September. Please go to our website to find out more. I know that both Coley and Lindsay are the coordinators currently working on that program. And if you do have any information, reaching out to them, they will bring you up to speed. We actually have a job form if you're interested in participating in that program. I also feel it's really good to talk about our legacy program, Leaders in Trades. Some people might have heard of it prior, called Regional Rep. We did change the name because people thought that these, 201 participants worked for BCCWITT because it said regional representative. So we changed it to be Leaders in Trades. This LIT program, what it was, and we lost our funding, but what it was is it brought together tradeswomen for 1 week. And it worked on communication, leadership. There was workshops, what were they looking for their vision? What were they looking for their growth? But also, how could they also be good mentors to women that were behind them or coming up? And the program was very successful. There was 12 cohorts between the years 2020 and 2024. I was very fortunate to be at all of them but 2. So I had the opportunity to meet 200 tradeswomen who are now part of our network. And why our network works so well is because of the women that were part of that. It's like this, I like to say it's like this holistic around approach. When we start working with a woman, I'm thinking, oh, you live in Vanderhoof. I know controls, mechanic, and so you start putting those pieces together. So it's really great. This program we're currently looking for funding for, and we would like to continue it. It's about building a really good, strong equity community. So it wasn't just women, it was equity priority. So if you're in an equity group in the construction, so it was for construction workers. And there is more information on our website if you would like to find out about it. It's a very project that we're all passionate about here. And then we also have another legacy program. We did lose our funding for Be More Than a Bystander. Most people that are on this call may have heard of Be More Than a Bystander. EVA BC, the Ending Violence Association of British Columbia, is still providing training for Be More Than a Bystander. When BCCWITT partnered with EVA BC, it was to create a workshop specifically for construction. So that's our portion in that is that BCCWITT work with EVA BC for that portion. Ending Violence Association with the BC Alliance and their program had a program, and then what we did was we tailored it to be for the construction. We're super proud of the work that we have done, and there are thousands of people that have been trained. I have a really short, little good story. One of our LIT representatives, her name is Lisa Scott, and she now works for the Construction Foundation of British Columbia. Lisa lived with me in Quesnel, and when Lisa went to do some training 5 years ago, there was a woman from Alberta that came to work at LNG, and Lisa was her trainer. Well, this woman's husband works for McLeany, and he came and did a Be More Than a Bystander. Coley and myself had done that. And it was like a full circle moment because we were talking, and he put all the pieces together to who we were. And it was so awesome that this full circle, and he went home and told his wife. And it's just really amazing when you look at the touch points that we have on change and where change can happen. It was just really good to see. And so that's how come we know our programs are working. Our programs are working because people are coming back to say, I'm a welder because of your program. My husband is a Be More Than a Bystander facilitator because of the program and the work that you're doing. So it makes us proud to share those and to hear those as well. Other activities, we do mentorship training. We do that ongoing. That's available for anybody that would like it. Our programs that we have when we post them on our social media and on our websites are for all construction workers. We do peer networking, a lot of advocacy work. We've done respectful workplace through justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion workshops for employers. We do recruitment and retention. We have done paid recruitment for many different programs. We do in-person and virtual events. But one of the biggest things we want BCCWITT to be known as is a resource hub. we have a resource page. And on our resource page, we try to include things for employers, for participants, for everybody. So if you are looking and you're, looking for something, go there. If you have an organization, you don't see your organization represented there, please reach out to me. We'll have a look. We do miss things, but our resource page is one thing that we work really diligently on. We believe that we would like to have it so that when people need the information, they have it readily available. Our funding partners, the BC Centre for Women in Trade would not exist. We are under the umbrella of the BC Federation of Labour. I like to point that we are a nonprofit and that we work with everyone, that we are funded by the government. And so even though we are under the framework of the BC Federation of Labour, our organization works with all employers, all participants. You need to live in British Columbia. That's the caveat. So who are we funded by? We're actually funded currently right now by just the government. So we have one program with WIF, which is our Show Up for Safer Workplaces. Our second program is our Trades Training Employment, and we are funded fully by Skills Trades BC under the WDA agreement for the provincial government. So we partner with many organizations. We have a few listed on here, but there are many. And if you would like to partner with us, you can apply at info@bccwitt.ca. And that is the end of my presentation, and I welcome any questions.
Just a quick question, Tammy. I know some people are from other provinces. Are you aware, are there similar organizations in different provinces?
Yes, there are. I'm not familiar with every single one of them, but many of them. So in Alberta and Saskatchewan and Manitoba, in Ontario, in Halifax, and in Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So I will put my email in the chat, and I welcome if anybody would like to talk with me. If there's an employer from another province, if there's an employer that is from Alberta but's doing work in British Columbia, we can work with you. It's that the person that you hire needs to reside in British Columbia. They can work anywhere in Canada, but their home residence needs to be in British Columbia, just due to our funding.
Sure. That's fantastic.
Brent, there's a question from Otto there in the Q&A.
Okay, super. Is there funding? Otto's question, is there funding or scholarships for training for women in management, like project managers?
Currently, our program and how it's designed, our program is designed for the recruitment. Our provincial government is really focusing on recruitment. I'm a certified career development practitioner. I have worked in careers for over 15 years. And what I see missing, I see that retention piece is missing and the promotion piece is missing. So our program, unfortunately, is for entry. So they can have no prior or very little prior trades experience. So a third year carpenter needing to find employment, it doesn't work in our program currently, and that's very difficult. Now, saying that, I have helped a lot of third year apprentices get employment off the side of my desk. Just saying, I am a 100% true passionate. I love what I do. Helping people connect to employers, that's my passion, period. So no, we actually can't do project management, because when we look at our trades that we can do, it's what are you doing to build a house or a road? So that's sort of how, when I'm talking to people, when I think, and there is manufacturing there as well, but when you really think in the construction, am I building a house? What do I need in building a road? And our participants through our trades training employment program all have little to no experience, or they've just completed foundations. That's our caveat.
Okay, perfect. So it's more on the hands-on side.
Yeah.
Rich, is that a question that I see?
It is, but I see Otto has one, and I'm not sure about the time. We're okay.
Yeah, well, here, let's go one more. Is there funding for apprentices to bridge the EI waiting period?
Unfortunately, there is not. Our program for funding, we try to look at all of those resources, but our program does not provide any funding for like EI top up or the bridging between.
Okay, super. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your presentation, Tammy Lee. Thanks for being a part of it today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great to have you. Okay, the next presentation, Canadian Construction Association, Kenny Leon, Vice President, Member Services and Technology. Kenny, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
Wonderful. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for having us. And I also have my colleague, Chanel Roberts there as well. So very briefly, I'll just tell about the Canadian Construction Association. And then after that, we'll move to what's the career path through our Gold Seal certification program. Canadian Construction Association, or CCA, is the largest body for construction representing the ICI construction sector here in Canada. Roughly about 18,000 members from coast to coast to coast. I also have my colleague Chris Atchison representing from the British Columbia Construction Association. So construction actually is large, but again, as I said, we don't necessarily represent the housing sector, but the ICI sector, including mixed developments as well. So that's very briefly about us, but I'm going to save in terms to say what's the career progression from a construction perspective. I'm just going to hand it over to tell about our Gold Seal Professional Certification Program. And Chanel, over to you.
Thank you, Kenny. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having us today. It's a pleasure to be here. And it's going to be a very summarized version of the Gold Seal certification information that I'd love to partake for you guys today. It is a path to your professional excellence. And what it is really is owned and directed by the CCA. It's been around for about 32 years. And what we're seeing more and more now is more Gold Seal certified professionals. We're almost about 13,000 across Canada, and we'd love to see that number grow. So what I'm going to show you today is just a little bit about what Gold Seal is. So some of you may not know what it is, and that's fine. There's quite a few out there that still don't know what it means. It's your certification for construction management professionals. So that may be some of you that are on the call today. It's really strictly for the construction management professionals in the construction industry, focusing on the ICIC sector. And if you're familiar with Red Seal, it's similar, right? That's for the trades, where the Gold Seal is for management. But it is Canada's recognized industry standard. So that's the legacy that it's become, and it's what we want to continue on for many years to come. And really what we want to make sure that is understood is that it is a blend of education and training as well as experience. So that's really what sets it apart from other certifications in the industry. You'll have your PMP or any other certifications that are strictly about certain aspects of what a role is in the industry, but this one is really a nice blend. So what it does is it validates your experience and your skills, but it really shows people in your industry, your clients, your coworkers, your employers, that you are committed to your own professional development and your continuous learning. That's really what it's about. It's about continuing to better yourself and to improve your skills. So when individuals go for the Gold Seal, there's many different reasons. Some people do it, simply for a personal goal. Some people do it to increase, their education or their training. And some people want to do it for their careers themselves. These are a few points that, we've received from GSCs in the past where they've said that it has helped them in their career. You're standing out in your field, right? So you are showing the industry that you have verified skills and experience because you've gone through the rigorous application process and passed the exam, which I'll go through in a minute. But what you're mainly seen as is an industry leader, right? So as a construction manager, you are already a leader in your field, but when you put yourself first and you put your career first and your goals of professional development, you're seen as a different type of leader. Those are the leaders that we want in our industry to build a better Canada. And when you're gaining competitive edge, what that means is that you, of course, have a bit of a leg up from others, right? So we've seen and heard from GSCs that their employers are asking for GSCs on the job. There's certain bids and postings that are requiring GSCs. So these individuals are coming to us and saying, well, I really want this job and I really want to bid on this project, but I don't know what a GSC is. How do I get there? So we're seeing more and more of that now, as opposed to a few years ago, which is great to see. And that's the competitive edge you can get over your competitors. Some have said, of course, that it opens doors. So you are leading yourself through a journey that's going to open a little bit more in terms of career opportunities, maybe even advancement as well. Depending on your employer, they may treat, the GSC as a goal and an incentive, or, part of your performance evaluation. There's many different ways that employers take the GSC into their program, but these are opportunities that you can have once you have your GSC. So these are the certifiable designations. If one of them is yourself, or you know a coworker that maybe is one of these certified or one of these designations, then you would be eligible essentially. When we talk about estimating, foreperson, project manager, safety practitioner, superintendent, those are of course designation titles, but your title may be a little bit different. If it is and you're not sure, you can always contact us. That happens sometimes in employments where the titles are a little bit different, but it doesn't mean you're not eligible. When we're talking about owners construction managers, those usually are the construction managers or project managers, superintendents that work for a public or private owner. So if that is somebody that you're working for and you could be eligible, you can always chat with us. There's also the competency self-assessment tools online, and we can provide all that information following the call if you'd like. So I'm going to walk you through a very quick process of the application process, just so you have an idea of how it works. It's technically 3 steps. Everybody enrolls in the program first. And with that enrollment, you only need a minimum number of years of experience and a letter of reference from your direct supervisor. So you only need 1 year of experience in your role in a full position. What that means is if you're a project manager, then that's a full position. If you're a superintendent, that's a full position. You can also apply, enroll in the program if you have an assistant role. So if you are a project coordinator, maybe you're a junior estimator, maybe you're a foreperson, but you want to go for the superintendent role eventually. Those are all assistant roles where we accept 2 years of experience. All of this is in our application guide online, and we're happy to help you out one-on-one if you'd like to give us a call. So don't worry about remembering all of this right now. Once you enroll in the program, you then are approved as a GSI. GSI means Gold Seal intern, and interns have up to 5 years to get into their Gold Seal credits to then write to the exam. So when you're an intern, it could be very short-lived or it could be a few years out. It really depends on your credits and how much experience you have. It also depends when you can get the training done. So there's a lot of components that's really different for everyone, but we can always help you out in terms of your exact journey. Once you have all of the 100 credits, so everybody needs 100 credits, you can then apply for your GSC application. What you need there is a minimum of 5 years experience in your role, which is 50 credits, and the rest can come from training and education. There is a little bit about training and education that are specific requirements, where if you have formal education, maybe you have a degree, a diploma, you have your Red Seal, that would count as formal education credits. If you don't, that's okay. You would get the rest from training and development. And that's where we strongly suggest you reach out to your local construction associations. They are partner associations of CCA, the ones that have a membership to CCA, and their courses are all Gold Seal accredited. So they're kind of your one-stop shop. They are the experts in education, and they would be able to guide you in terms of what training you need. Once you are approved to write the exam, you schedule your exam date, and then you write your exam. You may pass or fail. It happens to some, but we have a very, very good pass rate for all of our exams throughout the year. We're about 80 to 90%. It varies on every exam, but a lot of people have a really good chance of passing the exam. If ever you don't pass the exam on the first try, you do have the ability to rewrite the exam. And you are able to do that unlimited amount of times, but usually on the second try, people tend to obtain their GSC. Once you pass, your GSC is for life. So you obtain your Gold Seal certification. There's no renewal fee and there's no upkeep. So the GSC is permanent and for life. But if ever you wanted to go that one step above and beyond, you can go for the professional Gold Seal certification. And I'm not going to go into too much detail right now because it is a lot of info, but that is our renewable certification that is a little bit different in terms of credits. But we look to see how many people continue their education and their involvement in the industry 2 years at a time. So that is really the structure of the application process. And again, all of this is on our website and our application guide, and we would be happy to walk you through it. I'll just finish off with a little bit about the Gold Seal exam. It is offered 4 times a year, so March, June, September, and November. And there are, it usually happens on the 3rd Friday of those months, and there's lots of time to apply for each one. So there's a good time frame for you to enroll and then submit your GSC application. When we say the exam is experience-based, that's exactly what we mean. So it's what you do on a day-to-day, it's what you know in and out. We do offer an exam prep webinar that you can listen to, but there's no study guide. You're welcome to, of course, review any study material courses that you may have just taken, but it's really what you know. And as long as you are confident in your job and you know your stuff, you can definitely be successful in this exam. And we also offer, if ever you're unsure or you feel a little bit less confident, we always offer you to speak with a GSC that has just passed the exam. That gives you a little bit more insight and maybe sets your nerves a little bit at ease. And we do offer this online officially. So it's, or exclusively, I should say. You can write the exam from your office, your home, as long as you have a quiet place to work, you have that ability to write online, and it is a multiple choice exam. So when we talk about multiple choice, that also includes, selecting all that apply, select the 2 best answers, but it is strictly multiple choice. And each exam kind of varies. The estimators, safety practitioners, and the forepersons have 150 questions and 3 hours, whereas the others have 180 questions and 3.5 hours. And a lot of people tend to finish under that time. Some people take the full time, but it is more than enough time for everyone. And of course, the last point here is you just need 70% to pass. So that is in line with other industry certifications as well. So anything 70% and above is your GSC successful pass rate. So that is essentially, in a nutshell, what the Gold Seals program is about. And I'm happy to, help you guys through any journeys. If you'd like to go ahead and apply, we're always here to help. And I'll take any questions if there are any at this time.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Is there an exam in the 3rd Friday of this September? Is next week?
Yes, September 19th, but it is too late to register for that.
Okay, that's where I was going.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's okay. The next one after that is November 21st.
Oh, wow. Okay, so right around the corner. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And you have lots of time to even enroll and then get to your credits. So there's lots of time for that one.
You know roughly when the cutoff would be for that?
Yeah, so the November 11th is the last date to submit your GSC application, which is all of your 100 credits. And just a couple weeks before that is the enrollment deadline. So you have time in October to apply.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Rich.
Yeah. And Rich, if one information I think Chanel we can share as well, we have over 12,500 professionals who are Gold Seal certified from coast to coast to coast.
Wow.
So that's a number of people actually who is certified, and we have a lot of folks who's taking as well. So this is the designation in construction to be certified when it comes to on the ICIC sector on the 6 designations that Chanel just explained.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, we're at 12,800, almost at 13,000. That's our goal for this year. Any other questions? No?
And I have shared, Brent, I don't know whether you can see, I've shared in terms of, I'm not sure all the panelists or all the guests can see as well. I did share in terms of the link for the Gold
thank you, Kenny.
to check it out as well. So
Wonderful.
if there's any additional information, it's self-explanatory, as Chanel mentioned, of course. You can take in terms of just a quick review to see where you stand as well, and then do a self-assessment too.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, Kenny and Chanel. Really appreciate your time.
Great.
It sounds like
Thank
a
you so
great
much.
program.
Thank you
Thank you.
for having us. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Yeah. So if people have questions or want to learn more in the chat, I did see the message. It came through. So that's great. Okay. We will keep going here. Noble Consulting, Eddie, would you like to take it away for us?
Absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes. I can see your screen too. So that's great.
Well, it's Pleasure to be here this afternoon. I'm just going to be representing Noble Consulting. And just a little bit about us and what we do. Noble Consulting is a talent and employee retention company. Basically, we partner with a lot of companies in the construction and manufacturing technology space. And we design custom talent development programs that basically focus on retention, engagement, upskilling, and a succession plan. We've been in business for 5 years, and we just expanded to leverage. So majorly we work with, and so far across Canada. So we have clients in Calgary, Edmonton, Leverage, BC, a few in BC, and also as well. And we just kind of like some of the things that we really focus on right now. It's work placement, employee recruitment. If you're looking to hire engineers, leadership.
Sorry, Eddie, just really
Yeah.
quick. I had a comment. Is there a way, if you can increase the volume a little bit? I don't know if that's a thing.
Or just yell.
Or maybe just talk a little bit louder. Anyway, we just had some feedback there.
Better?
Oh, yeah. Why don't you try that?
How about now? Better?
I can hear you. Hopefully that's okay for Otto. Yeah, let's give that a try. Thank you.
Also, can you hear me? Okay. So just some of our core area of expertise. You can see on my slide. The first one is permanent placement. So definitely you're looking to hire engineers, looking to hire leadership team, project manager. So we can definitely do that. And the other one, it's work assessment, because our goal is always to employers to increase engagement, and do a skill audit within the company as well. That's kind of the other thing that we do. And the third one is employee retention, which is key, especially in the construction and manufacturing space. We want to be able to help employer reduce turnover, and then increase their retention rate. And lastly, succession plan. Because of where we're living right now and a lot of aging population, I think now is a time that most companies, most organizations should start thinking about leadership succession planning in terms of leadership development within the organization, and also looking at ways that they can also bring in strong professionals that are just entering the industry right now. They can position them so that in the next 5 years, they can actually take on more within the organization. So that's kind of what we focus on. And to drive this we've developed two special programs right now that many of our clients are really benefiting from. So the first one is the workplace adaptive pathway. So this one is basically designed for companies that are feeling the impact of talent or the challenges, and they are considering laying off people. So under this program, we come up with we help a lot of them with sales development strategy. So instead of laying off people, see how they can redeploy some of their team into other department that can get involved with revenue generation. And through that program, we train our partners, employees. It could be in sales, it could be in sourcing, it could be in logistics. They can be more effective. Because if you come to think about it, hiring a new person to handle those things, because okay, when business is slowing down, it's going to take time for you to train the employees. But if you already use existing employees that are willing and they have the skills that is needed for them to transition into the position, considering that they already have the industry, the company knowledge as well. So you're saving institutional knowledge, and also you're reducing disruption for your clients as well. You're not bringing in a new person, and then they don't know the company, but you have using people that are already in the company, and you just redeploy them to a different position. And the other one, which is the workplace cognitive competency program, we've seen success with this as well, especially in the manufacturing space, where young professionals they feel like there's no opportunity for them. All they want to do is TikTok or they want to over LA, New York to work with big tech companies. But under this program, we're happy there to see that hey, there's local opportunity with manufacturing companies, construction companies. And but there's the question that always comes to their mind is, I don't have the experience. So that's why we have this program to basically help them, first of all, to identify their transferable skills that would relevant for the position. And then we work with employers as well to come up with a work integrated learning program where basically those young professionals with zero experience and learn on the job. And then there's going to be a rotation. So they learn on the job and then we evaluate them in 3 months, 6 months. And also, we also work with the companies to come up with training program where they can be part of the group within the company. So those are some of the two programs that we are currently running, specifically dedicated for the construction and manufacturing industry. Okay, so just to shift a little bit, so this is what is called the work sharing program that the government has rolled out, the federal government, to help employers, especially the manufacturers, the steel and aluminum industry, and manufacturing industry, to help them to again reduce layoff. So what is the workforce sharing program? Help employers avoid layoffs during temporary business downturn, which is exactly what we're going through right now for most companies. And also under this program, so what it is that instead of laying off an employee, employers will reduce the employees' hours, and then the rest of the hours will be covered by benefits. So it's kind of like, you pay half and pay half. So that's what the government is doing. And with this, there's going to be work sharing. So the employees going to start working 40 hours a week. They just work 20 hours because we understand that in tariffs or because of the economic situation, you don't have the job to keep them busy for full time. So instead of keeping them around, you might as well lay them off. But the government is saying, don't lay them off, keep them for 20 hours, and then you pay for the rest of 20 hours. That's the program. It's very easy to qualify. It's a Canada-wide program, so it could be Alberta, Saskatchewan, BC, Ontario. You can benefit from this program. And you can basically reach out to EI from insurance to learn more about the program and you can sign a contract with them. So, but there are some requirements that you need to meet as an organization to participate in the program. But just because of time today, if you need more information, just feel free to reach out to me. I can share more information and contact with you as well. So the other one is the Canada Alberta Productivity Grant. This is, I think, one of the best grant that I have seen, and I really love it because of the fact that it's helping companies to address productivity. Again, considering the fact that Noble we help employers to with employee engagement, retention, and training. This is something that we really appreciate, and the government rolled out as well. So under this program, this is only designed for Alberta-based companies. That's the only kind. So companies in BC and other companies, you might not be able to participate in this program. But if you're a Alberta-based company, this is a program for you that can help you increase productivity, productivity training, and also support innovation and efficiency improvement in your organization. So for example, if you want to train your team on leadership development, this is not a program for you. Or if you want to train your team on soft skills, this is not a program. But take note that it's a program focused on productivity. Or maybe there's a new tool that you use it in the industry and you want to send somebody into your company to go learn the tool or the process, then you can use the program. Or maybe there's a new way or there's a new software that you can use to operation and you need to train your company, your team on that software, you can use this program for that as well. And just talking about how much funding and cost covered. So the way that this program works is that the government pay 50% of the cost. So if the training is going to cost $10,000 per employee, the government is going to pay 50% of that, which is $5,000. That's for existing employees. But what if you want to employ somebody unemployed or better? So someone who doesn't have a job right now, and you want to hire them, and you know that, okay, this person, I'm going to train them because of their background. I'm going to train them to be able to take on, to drive productivity in my organization. So if you hire somebody like that, the government is going to cover up to 75% of the cost. So if training is 10,000, government pays 75% of that, the rest of the 25% in training cost. And per year, you can get up to $100,000 only under this program. So if you want to train 5 people, 10 people within your organization, then you can use this program to train them. But just keep in mind that there's going to be a portion that you still have to pay as well as the employer. And some of the things also keep in mind that the owner of the business, the board directors doesn't qualify on this program, on this training. So they can be training members. They can be the person that the training that are going to receive the training. That's kind of like some of the things to keep in mind. And the other question is who administers the training. So you can use, again, like I said, it's not going to be a skill training and it's not a leadership training. So if you know anybody within the industry, client like the Construction Association of Canada, I think they might qualify because of the training that they have. So those might be some of the things that you want to down to. If you know that organization within the industry that provide specific productivity training, training process efficiency or change management training in the industry that will really help your company productivity. Those are the people that you want to reach out to. I'm also putting together a list of training organizations in Alberta that again is free. I can also share with you if you want to know I put together a list of them portion and manufacturing industries. That's if you want to be part of this program, and I can share those lists with you so that you can also reach out to them, because you do need a training provider when you apply for the grant. So they want to make sure that, okay, you've identified a training provider that can provide the training, then you trust that, okay, yes, the money that they're going to pay you. Right? So if you have, existing employees, take advantage of this. You want to upskill them. This is a good program that you can use. Or if you're planning to hire somebody that doesn't have the experience you're looking for, but they have some of the qualifications, and you want to bring them on and train them as well, and they're currently unemployed, this is another thing. This is a good program. So thank you for your time this afternoon. If you have any question, please feel free to ask.
Wonderful. Thanks, Eddie. I don't see any questions right now, but there's still a few minutes, or seconds, I guess. Yeah, it sounds like great programs.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks so much. Oh, yeah, go for it, Rich.
Sorry. While we're waiting, I forgot to mention at the top of the meeting that we will be posting this on our YouTube channel, on the Fenestration Canada YouTube channel. So look it up. It's the official YouTube channel for FenCan.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. Great stuff on there. All right, we're going to transition the Finishing Trades Institute. James Clifford, you are up.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me okay? Perfect. I'm I guess talk about myself. I'm a member of FTI Ontario. I'm a glazing instructor and certified safety instructor as well. This is my 36th year in the glass business, so I've been doing it for a few years now. I'm Red Seal certified as well as AGMT certified. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. I hope everyone understands the Red Seal and how the apprenticeship works for glazers. What FTI is basically doing here at FTI, we actually do part of we're with IUPAT, or International Union of Painters Allied Trades. We also teach union and non-union, but we actually do 7 different trades here. So glazing, painting, decorating, industrial paint, flooring, EIFS and stucco, wall coverings, and then finally drywall finishing. So mine is actually just glazing and safety. So I'll just speak on that behalf, I guess. What we do here at FTI, we're a training facility here in Toronto. At this location, we actually do glazing as well as painting and decorating. So we actually, for the apprentices, for glazing apprentices, they actually have to come to school 3 times during their 8,000-hour apprenticeship. So their 8,000-hour apprenticeship, usually around 1,000 hours, we get them to come in for basic, around 4,000 intermediate, and then around 7,000 they come in and do their advanced training. The training itself actually lasts 8 weeks at a time. It is covered by EI, and if they've been working, as well as we also have a thing here called the AEF, or Apprentice Education Fund. So an hour of their pay per hour gets put into a fund, and then when they come to school, they get all that money towards them. So it makes it a little easier on the transition from working, coming into school, and hopefully top them up before EI can kick in. We also do a whole bunch of other things, journeyman upgrades. We do a couple different things now. We're actually doing a unitized curtain wall, caulking. They also do an estimating or foreman programs we have here as well. The AGMT, if you don't know what the AGMT is, it's more of an American.
Jeff's going to be here today.
Sorry?
Jeff is going to be here later on today.
Perfect. So I won't get too far in it. He can talk about it, but we're sort of integrating it into our program as well. So we're using part of their stuff. What it basically it entails is just like the Red Seal. The Red Seal is 120 question test. The AGMT is 125, as well as a full day of practical. So they actually have to set up a curtain wall, a door system, a caulking test, put a harness on, and then do a layout. So it's actually a better program. I like it because there's a practical aspect about it. So it's pretty good. In the training here at FTI, what they do, we'll teach anything from basic glass cutting, polishing, all that type of stuff, to sealants, to doors, shop safety, of course, math. We talk about residential windows as well, and skylights, anything pertaining to the glazing industry here. We get into that. So part of their whole apprenticeship, they actually get a very wide berth definitely on the theory of it. The whole apprenticeship is they're only in school 9% of the time of their apprenticeship. The rest are actually 91%, they're actually learning in the field. So, which is good. Just like safeties, we also do safeties here. Of course, we do working at heights, parallel elevated work platforms, swing stage, hoisting and rigging, telehandlers, and we even do a 0 to 8 ton hoisting ticket. So we have a whole view of different things and things of that nature that we keep the apprentices going. Right now, there's approximately 350 apprentices here in Toronto. So things are definitely slower right now. I don't know about the rest of the country. We're finding it very slow right now just because of the tariffs. And just other, how the interest rates held things back. We're definitely noticing smaller markets are doing better. Halifax, things like that nature. Toronto, I understand Vancouver's a little bit under the same thing as us. We're trying to keep guys going. This is where we're actually getting the guys to come in and do all their safety so that they are ready to start working. Another thing that I want to discuss, we're actually doing a glazing expo here at the school. It is on Friday, October 24th, from 7:30 to 3. And what we're doing, we're actually bringing industry people, architects, just to show basically what glazers do, and industry people that will help things out. It's been brought on by the International Union of Painters Allied Trades and the Architectural Glass Manufacturers and Association. So they help things out as well. We have up to 15 vendors that are going to be here, as well as 5 speakers. I know one of the speakers, Scott Wechter from Dow, is going to be here. I think there's a couple other ones that's going there. We are introducing a new VR headset. So one of the things we sort of came up with was with VR, we use it as a recruiting tool as well as a training tool. We did a combination. So basically what it is you put it on for people that don't know what glazers do in Toronto anyways, and then they get in, they'll go up a skip hoist to the 36th floor, get out on a loading platform, and then a crane will actually come down and drop windows on them. So it's kind of interesting. So they just get that feel. So when you look out over the edge, you're at 36 stories and you'll hear the birds chirping and stuff. We set it up pretty good. So it's just an introduction, especially with the young people. We're trying to get them involved in things. So what's better than having a video game to get them going? So see how things go. So, a couple other things. There is FTI itself here in Ontario. We have 4 schools. We have 2 here in Toronto, one that's glazing and paint, as well as drywall finishing. We have one in Ottawa that just does glazing. And then we have an Ancaster location or Hamilton that does industrial paint. So industrial paint is more like bridges and water towers and things like that nature. So we're trying to get the apprentices going. We have brought on the latest now is we're actually doing a pre-apprenticeship program. It's called Training the Future. And basically what it is we invite up to 15 people per class. It's a 6-week program where they get all their safety training and just an introduction to glazing or paint. In that 6 weeks, they don't get any compensation for it money-wise, but we actually outfit them with about $600 in safety gear and about $1,000 in tools. So they're all ready to go. Plus, at the end of the 6 weeks, we are working with our contractors that they have a 12-week placement. And the contractors seem to like it because the 12-week placement, half their wages are paid by the government. So it's actually an incentive for both the companies and for the young apprentices to go. So we're trying to get things going. We're into the second one right now. First one, we had 7 pass, and they are still working right now. And right now, my latest class is 12. So hopefully they'll keep going. So just some new things in the industry here in Ontario. I don't know if they do stuff. I know there's an FTI out in BC, so we have things there and stuff. So FTI, there's actually over 105 training facilities in North America for FTI. So we do quite a lot of training, and we'll see how things go. Keep the industry going and try to keep up to date on all the new things. So hopefully that helped you out. And if there's anything, any questions, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. Thanks.
Well, thanks, James. It sounds like you have some great programs.
Thank you.
Love it. Yeah, just quick question for me. So you mentioned polishing and cutting. So is that like a fabrication element of your
Yeah, well, what's happening now, a lot of companies don't cut their own glass anymore. They order it. Unless you're a service sort of company, we actually just because we're glazers, we still have our own glass that they cut here. We'll polish it up, and we can do different things. They do different little projects, things of that nature, as well as the fabrication portion. We do a lot of metal work where they'll actually build smaller frames and then cut the glass for it. I actually make back pans, bend metal, and things of that nature too. So we get them to do the whole sort of gambit, I guess.
Love it. And that the expo, is there a page on your website? I can look it up, but
yes. I can actually, if you just go to go to FTI Ontario, and just go that, and it'll be right on there. Should be.
Do you mind if I share it in the chat?
Yes, go ahead. Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I should have gave you the.
No problem.
Thing here. That's it.
Super. Otto just made a great comment that, the understanding the glass fabrication helps glazers to understand how the material works.
Yeah.
And I've seen that as well.
Yeah. It's when I started, I started as a fabricator, so it's sort of going the wayside, which is it's a tough thing to keep everyone up to date on things.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. Thank you, James. I really appreciate your time. Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to keep going. Independent Contractors Business Association, ICBA, Carrie Vittle, and I have Natasha Mountain. Take it away.
Thank you. Just gonna get a little presentation up. We love technology over here when it decides to actually work. So my name is Carrie Vitale. I'm the Manager Member Services for ICBA, which is the Independent Contractors and Businesses Association here in BC. We're the largest construction association in Canada. We have about 4,500 members and clients right now. We also have a counterpart in Alberta, ICBA Alberta, and we have partners in the Merit Canada groups, which is in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and Nova Scotia. So we're a wide-ranging group over here. A little bit more about us. We have about 20,000 people in our mental health program, which we developed about 5 years ago to address, unfortunately, some of the concerns that are going on in our industry. We're also the largest sponsor of trades apprentices and the #1 sponsor of Indigenous and female apprentices here in BC. We're very proud that we were selected the North American Trade Association of the Year in 2019, 2021, 2023, and this year in 2025. We have about 125,000 followers on our social media channels, so we post a lot about our advocacy work. We have a lot of events that we do, and then just some kind of fun social media campaigns that we do. So please feel free to follow us. The links will be at the very end of the presentation. We have over 300,000 people on a health and benefits plan, a health and dental plan administered by ICBA. That is one of our arms. We have a whole ICBA benefits group. About 65 people in our offices in Calgary, Prince George, and here in Surrey, where Natasha and I are coming from. And we are really proud that this year we launched our ICBA Foundation, and it provides about $200,000 in bursaries every year to apprentices here in BC and in Alberta. I'm going to pass this over to Natasha.
Hey, everybody. Thanks, Carrie. I'm Natasha Mountain. I'm the education coordinator in the training department here at ICBA. So I'm just going to share with you a couple of slides, letting you know all the cool things we're doing in that department here. So first off, ICBA is the largest construction association in Canada. We're proud to be an industry leader in training and professional development to the open shop construction industry. I've got a slide here which shows you some of the things that keep us busy in the training department, and Carrie has already highlighted a couple of them, but I'll go through just because they're actually all really important pieces to what we give to our membership. So as Carrie mentioned, we are a leader in the apprenticeship training world. We have nearly 3,000 apprentices in our system and provide generous bursaries as apprentices progress. So we actually are the #1 sponsor in British Columbia, and also the #1 sponsor of Indigenous and female workers, something to be really proud of. Our ICBA wellness program is also something that we're really, really proud of. It's an award-winning program. It's delivered monthly based on themes to over 20,000 participants. We work really hard to acknowledge and work to break the stigma around mental health. We provide this free to our membership, and it comes in the form of wellness webinars, toolbox talks, supplemental resources provided, and an e-learning component. We also have an employment network, which I'm going to let Carrie talk a little bit more about in a subsequent slide. I do want to talk about our challenge programs. This is something also that has taken a lot of work, and we're really proud of it. An example of this is our painter and decorator interprovincial Red Seal exam prep program, which has been successfully running for a number of years now. It's currently in progress right now with a number of participants, and we're definitely looking forward to collaborating within the industry to provide more of these options so that more people can get their Red Seal certification. Another area, and the main part I wanted to talk about, is the training program. So we actually have a catalog of over 800 courses. I think it's actually closing in on more like 900 courses that we offer annually to our members. We feature everything from, Microsoft Office to fall protection to leadership training and the works. I'm just going to go on to the next slide and show you a few of those things that we're working on. So basically, in the training department, something that we work really hard to do is meet our members where they are, provide the solutions that they need in the format that works best for them, which, as you can imagine, in construction means a lot of different things. So something that's important to our members is that they have lots of different options in terms of connecting with the training. So we do offer virtual e-learning, classroom, and even customized training to do private sessions based on what our members need. So that makes the day-to-day in our department really busy, lots of people taking courses on a daily basis, and definitely keeps us hopping in this department. We've noticed the trend towards, technology is helping us all grow, obviously, but we need to stay on track with that and even try and stay ahead of that in terms of evolving with technology. So AI, as you know, we just mentioned a bit earlier here, the opportunity is VR and simulations in the training. Super cool to be able to throw on, a VR goggles and show someone what it's like to be in a tower crane or on scaffolding or all of those things. And so we're working really hard to connect with presenters and and providers that can offer those types of solutions to our membership. Again, with analytics, with technology changing and growing and being so dynamic, that also makes the analytics side of things be readily available. So changing your training to meet those needs and being really adaptable and flexible in the solutions that we provide for training is important to our members. We do lots of ongoing professional development. I think that most employers recognize now that training is not a one and done thing, in particular in construction. It's in fact a requirement that training be sort of regularly updated. And so we offer continuous and regular training opportunities for people. So you will see that many of our courses are repeated throughout the year, and that's to meet the needs of our membership who may be busy, in the summers and need things in the fall, or have just different training schedules. So we do offer lots of different solutions at different times. A feature that we do provide to our membership that I think our members really do appreciate is we assist them with providing courses that help them with credentials. So that may be, as discussed earlier today by Chanel, the Gold Seal pathway, for example. Something that we'll do with our members is work directly with them. They might phone us up and say, I really don't understand the Gold Seal pathway. How can we access it? How can we become credentialed? And we will actually work with them to develop a pathway for their staff to be able to participate and be successful in that program and obtain their credential. So that's something that's really important. We want to provide training solutions that are quality and that help our members work towards an end goal where a credential may be the end goal. And in the training department, on any given day, there could be any number of courses being offered, and this is just a small selection of them. We do provide a lot of different training, as mentioned, but our course catalog does have hundreds of training opportunities that matter to the construction industry, and we work with some of the best and most qualified presenters in the construction space to provide the highest level of training quality available. We offer leading edge training such as developments in AI. We're working really hard to provide training opportunities in the AI safety space as well, because that's an important tool that a lot of companies are able to access now, as long as they are familiar with it and willing to embrace it. We provide some training in that area. AI in construction, AI in safety. We also do soft skills training, including construction-specific leadership training and courses in workplace culture and psychology. So you might see that in, for example, our Leadership Day Bootcamp or emotional intelligence for construction leaders. We also do, of course, all of the technical and safety training that you might expect. So you will see courses in CAD drawing and Bluebeam review. Safety is a huge component of our training. And so we offer things in like asbestos awareness, incident investigation and prevention strategies as well. Our member organizations also benefit from access to custom design courses, as I mentioned, so private training sessions that we curate specifically to needs that the members have indicated. So there may have been a safety concern, there may have been an employee staffing concern, a culture thing. It may just be that a company is just really invested in their staff and want to provide additional opportunities that meet the very specific needs of that member organization. So we will work with them to develop a private curated training program with a notable presenter that meets those needs as well. So I just want to close my part of this by saying that ICBA is proud to be the leading provider of training to the construction industry in Western Canada, and we wouldn't be able to do this without the strong industry connections we've developed over the 50 years that we've been supporting open shop construction.
Thanks, Nat. I will say on the VR side that I have done some VR training, and I'm definitely not cut out to work on cranes, because as a previous presenter had said, looking over the edge was a little bit terrifying. Not something I would ever be doing. We'll move on to a little bit more about the kind of job market, demographics, etc. You've heard from a lot of people that the biggest issue facing construction now is the demographic challenge. 20% of construction workers are 55 plus. They're probably going to be retiring over the next few years. In 2022, more people were passed away in BC than were born. And so that's the one thing that we really are finding with our members is that in 2024, 72% of our membership, when we polled them, said the skills shortage was going to be their biggest obstacle. And that's not news really to pretty much anyone on this call, I'm sure. But it's not all negative, which is something that we're really happy to be able to say. Our most recent wage and benefits survey, which is something that we do every year, showed that most of our employers are planning to increase wages by at least 5% in 2026, an average of 5%, which is excellent news. And only 11% of our employers think the volume of work will decrease in 2026. So sobering numbers in some cases, but not necessarily that terrifying. Trades are always in demand. As many of others have said, construction was one of the few industries that didn't experience layoffs during the pandemic. And just some notes about our apprenticeship program. In 2020, January 2020, we had 1,000 apprentices under our direct sponsorship on behalf of our members. And now we're at almost 3,000, as we've said a couple times. So it's not something that's going to be going away. It's not something that we really need to be worrying too much about, despite obviously what's going on, some of the economic news, etc. But it will rebound if it doesn't right now, if it's not where it is right now. Work BC indicates that there's significant opportunities in the skilled trades here in BC. So with over 105,300 job openings expected in the trades over the next 10 years. And there remains high demand for specific trades like electricians, plumbers, carpenters, and glazers. This isn't something that's going to be going away. As I said, we still building. Looking out my window now, I can see about 15 cranes. So construction will always continue no matter what kind of the economic outlook is. Which also brings us to our employment network, as Nat had kind of mentioned at the beginning. So we believe it's next week. We're going to be launching our own job board for our members, allowing job seekers to come and connect with them, upload their profile, upload their resume, apply for jobs directly with our members or by coming to us, because that's one of the really big things we do here in our department. We batch job seekers with our members who are looking to hire. We also go to a lot of career fairs. So anyone in BC who will probably have seen me quite recently at a lot of the career fairs, high schools, elementary schools, online things such as this, career fairs for adults with immigrant services agencies like Mosaic. And we work with a lot of groups that represent people who are looking for work who may not really know too much about the trades. And we always want to talk to them about it because it's an excellent industry to go into. The opportunities are vast, whether you want to be a construction laborer to start and end up being the president of your own construction company. We have a lot of members who have that exact career trajectory. And that's not necessarily something that you see in a lot of other industries. So in closing, trades are obviously the most important part to us, working with our members, working with the construction industry as a whole. And we are very happy to answer any questions if you may have them. I will also put our personal ICBA emails in the chat. But if you have a question, please feel free to email us, training@icba.ca. You'll get Nat, member services at icba.ca. You will get me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carrie and Natasha, for presenting today.
You're very welcome. It was great.
Yeah, great. That training piece is very important. I don't see any questions here. We'll just hold it unless, yeah, Rich, do you want to have a question there?
I've been to several ICBA events and have learned a ton from attending them.
Lovely.
Yeah, I'm excited for this presentation, and yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say. So look forward to the next one.
Are you coming to our one in October?
I'm hoping to. I've got a
Excellent.
busy October, crazy enough. What's the dates on that again?
October 2nd and 3rd in Vancouver.
Wonderful.
But yeah, let me know. Send me an email and I can send you all the links and stuff to it as well too.
I will.
Wonderful. Oh, is ICBA doing much in Ontario?
So we work with our partners there, Merit Ontario, but we do offer a lot of our training courses. Nat can probably speak to that a little bit more. But we do work very closely with our partner association there. Like I said, it's Merit Ontario.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you. Well, thank you for being here and for your time. Really appreciate your presentation. Okay, we're going to keep going to the Canadian Home Builders Association. We have MLD Emily Fielden, Policy and Communication Analyst, and Sarah Karen. I don't know if I got that name right, but go for it. Take it away.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me? Perfect. Fantastic. Hi. Okay. So my name is Emily Fielden. I'm here with the Canadian Home Builders Association. I'm joined here by my colleague, Sarah, and she'll pop on if we have any questions. She leads our adaptive home renovation course and can answer any questions once I go through it. Okay. So why don't we just jump right in? I will just do a high level of kind of who we are, and then I'd like to talk about two of our training opportunities today for industry. So who we are, so CHBA National, we are the voice of Canada's residential construction industry. We represent some 8,500 member companies across the country. That includes home builders, renovators, developers, really anyone that's working in and around the residential construction sector. We operate under a federated model. So we have 52 constituent home builders associations locally and provincially. Some of those associations also have their own training opportunities at those levels. I cannot go into all of them today. There's too many, but I'll go into our national programs. Key priorities for us really is industry advocacy. We do federal GR. We also have our local and provincial associations doing municipal and provincial GR. We really aim to keep our members informed about home building and renovation. This includes codes, legislation that's coming down the pipe, and we do this through various committees and councils. So we have a technical research committee, we have a renovators council, we have a council for urban development, and a few others. We recently actually just started a new Women in Residential Construction Council, which is super exciting for us, and that's really going to aim to support the advancement of women specifically in the residential construction sector. We also do obviously promotion of our members' work through, awards programs and other programs. And then we do workforce solutions. So that includes the educational opportunities that I'm going to talk about today. Well, I just would first like to start by doing kind of a quick overview of our careers in residential construction resources. So a few years ago, we started a national careers in residential construction hub to kind of bring more entrants into the sector and sort of help combat the stigma around the skilled trades and careers in residential construction. So really what this hub is it shows career opportunities that are in the residential construction sector. There's a huge focus on diversity. It showcases opportunities for underrepresented groups. It also includes a skills assessment survey for job seekers to kind of determine if a career in residential construction is right for them. We also have a guide to getting hired, as well as various resources for schools, partners, guidance counselors. This includes books. We have printable flyers, all of that. And these resources really are not necessarily for those who are already in the industry, like many of you, but they are, for those who are looking for a career in the residential construction sector. So if you do know somebody who's looking to start in our sector, say a young person or maybe a newcomer, this is really a great place to send them to kind of start their journey and sort of find the available opportunities. I'll get into now sort of the training opportunities that we have for industry. So we'll start with the CHBA Net Zero training. So in 2015, we launched the CHBA Net Zero Home Labeling Program, and this is really to help support CHB members and industry in their goal to voluntarily deliver net zero homes. What is a CHBA Net Zero home? So a CHBA Net Zero labeled home is really a home that produces as much energy as it consumes. Through the program, we also have a Net Zero Ready home label, and this is a home that meets the design and build requirements of a net zero home, but doesn't necessarily have a renewable energy source installed. The home energy consumption for a net zero home is modeled using NRCan's EnerGuide rating system, and this is completed by a CHBA qualified net zero energy advisor, which is training that we also offer. So I'll get into that in a little bit. Just a high level, the benefits of a net zero home include exceptional value. So really, because it's a high performance home, it means the utility bills fall to an all-time low for the occupants. So it's protecting, occupants from future energy price increases. It's also built to higher standards, so obviously better windows, better insulation, so they are more durable than traditional conventional code-built homes. They also offer greater comfort and healthier living. So there's advanced construction and superior HVAC, which means even temperatures throughout the home, silence exterior noise, and exceptional comfort year round. And then obviously they are more environmentally responsible because all the features work together to minimize the household environmental footprint. So if you want to learn more about those, you can go to chba.ca/net0. But we actually have some training courses in order to kind of prep industry in this type of home building. So we have 5 courses that we're offering with 3 more coming soon. Right now we have an advanced building science course as well as net zero builder, renovator, energy advisor, and building officials training. Coming soon, we've got Net Zero for the Market Advantage. We've got Net Zero for Trades. We have LEAP for envelopes and LEAP for mechanicals. LEAP is local energy efficiency partnerships. That's done in partnership with NRCan. And all courses right now that we're offering are 7 to 8 hours of content. They're kind of delivered in a variety of ways. We have some that are instructor-led, others that are just in person, and others that are online and self-directed. And there's a big thing here, rebates available. That's what I'll get into next. So these courses are really all more relevant with energy efficiency requirements coming down in the codes. So to help industry prepare for those codes, we're conducting an NRCan fund project, which allows us to offer rebates on several of our net zero training courses. And that's through the Codes Acceleration Fund. So we have, as you can see on the slide here, we've got our courses, the format of those courses, the incentive amount, and whether it's available to members of CHBA or not. But these courses are all available to CHBA members and not to others as well. So anybody can take these courses. So if you'd like to become a qualified net zero professional, you can register at chba.ca/net0 training. There's also a QR code there that takes you to that page. So you can check out kind of the options that are available. I'd encourage everybody to take a look at it. There's a ton of options for training there in various parts of the country. So that is our net zero training. I'd also like to talk a little bit about our adaptive home renovation course. So what is adaptive home? An adaptive home renovation is an approach to home modifications for individuals who want to stay in their home for as long as they can, regardless of age or condition. This is relevant for people who have experienced sudden or lasting industries and those living with progressive health conditions. This course was really created for renovators, contractors, really anybody in residential construction who wants to learn about the aging in place market and the growing business opportunities that it presents across Canada. And here's why. In 2022, 27% of Canadians aged 15 and over, so around 8 million people, had at least one disability. There's also a growing number of Canadians, as others have said on this call, that are already kind of entering or in their retirement years, which poses an issue for the labor force. It also poses an issue for how we build homes. Aging in place is preferred by the majority of Canadians over the age of 60, but Canadians over the age of 70 show an especially strong preference towards aging at home. So 82% of them is what we know. Modifications really can include something as simple as like adding a grab bar to a shower, to adding an elevator into your home. So there's kind of a huge range of modifications that are needed based on people's abilities. The Adaptive Home Renovation course is a definitive training program for accessible renovations. It's 2 days, and it's delivered with an adaptive home manual. So this is a physical textbook that you get with the course, and it contains kind of up-to-date information and building code information with an emphasis on improving design, safety, security, comfort, and occupant health. I'll go a little bit into how this works. So the course is broken down into 5 parts. Part 1 and 2 kind of provide an overview of the adaptive home market and the business opportunities across the country. These chapters really include an overview of the tools and knowledge needed to grow your business and offer renovation services to help seniors who want to age at home safely and comfortably, or individuals living with a disability. You'll learn how to communicate with clients effectively, how to build the ideal renovation team, how to build a strong marketing strategy, how to protect your business as well by learning about privacy, insurance, and legal considerations. Most of the chapters in these sections are part of the pre-course readings, and they include case studies and floor plans as well to kind of put what you've learned into practice. Part 3 includes the information renovators will need to complete adaptive home projects. These chapters are full of practical information and guidance on how to undertake renovation projects to accommodate the needs of the occupants of the home. Participants also learn about ramps and slopes, zero step threshold entrances, curbless showers, other modifications, accessibility equipment, all of that. Part 4 covers topics like indoor air quality, lighting, fire safety, home solutions, and home automation solutions. And then part 5 includes really just necessary resources to support you. There are 25 conditions and disease fact sheets that we have that offer a high-level description of various diseases, the most common symptoms, and recommended home modifications for consideration. For example, for dementia, possible home modifications might include proper lighting and contrast in various rooms, automatic locks on exterior doors, automatic shutoff for kitchen appliances, kind of all of that. This kind of will allow you to get a better idea of the challenges the clients are living with and allow them to prepare accordingly before the first meeting. And then as well, there's a renovator checklist to assist in identifying areas of the house that are of concern. So if you want to become a qualified adaptive home specialist, you have to go through the pre-reading, attend the full course in full, and then pass the exam at least 70%. At the end, you receive a certificate and access to a full suite of resources to help you promote your designation. That includes logos, brochures, press releases, social media assets, all of that. So our next course dates for that are next Tuesday and Wednesday, actually, and we only have a few spots left. So sign up quick if you have any interest in taking this course. The last course of the year is in December. It's on December 2nd, December 3rd. CHBA members, if you're not already a member, get a discounted rate on this course. But if you're not a member of our association, we are offering 10% off for Fenestration Canada members if you just email adaptivehome@chba.ca. So if you'd like to register, just go to chba.ca/adaptivehome. There's a QR code there. I'll also pop that link into the chat, and I'll also pop the net zero link in the chat as well as our national URL and my contact information. So thanks very much. Appreciate the opportunity to talk today. If you have any questions, please feel free to let me know now or reach out to me at emily.fielden@chba.ca, and I will put that in the chat as well. Thanks very much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Emily.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't see any questions right now. So, yeah, I will keep
Yeah,
going. Thanks. Oh, Rich?
Yeah, just that, yeah, that adaptive home, that's so important. You know, I know from experience now as a member of the sandwich generation, how important that is. And it's obviously just going to become more and more important as the baby boomers.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lots of business opportunities with that.
Definitely. Absolutely. Thank you for doing that. That's great. Thanks for joining us too.
No problem. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, our next presentation, North American Contractor Certification. Jeff, you're up.
Wonderful. Well, certainly I appreciate all of you joining me today. I'm just trying to share my presentation here, and hopefully it will let me do this quickly. I'm in Sackett's Harbor, New York, and I work with the North American Contractor Certification Program, and appreciate being invited today in order to give a little bit of an update and also talk about a couple of the concepts of the program and how it is helping and moving the industry forward. So as long as I can share my presentation here, we'll be all set.
There you go. It's just loading in.
Yeah, got a bunch of things here now. All right. Let's get this up here. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
Okay, commercial glazing, quality systems, and certification. I know we have kind of a small group. I appreciate all of you hanging on till the very end of this meeting today and being a part of this. Just I guess out of curiosity, how many of you know about the certification program already? Am I speaking to those in the know, or do I need to dive a little deeper today?
Dive a little deeper. I think it's a broad mix.
Okay, perfect. So, in just the short time that we have together today, I'm just going to cover a couple of the concepts about the NACC, North American Contractor Certification Program, and how commercial glazing and quality systems and certification are impacting the industry and moving the glazing industry, especially on the commercial side, forward as a whole. The North American Contractor Certification, although it's a certification program, it really is an initiative that is designed to move towards better whole building enclosure through process control. It focuses on a holistic approach to better building enclosures through process control, as well as verifications and installer knowledge, company programs and processes in order to drive towards protection from air, water, vapor that can enter through any area that's affected by the glazing system installation. This includes looking at membranes, flashing, interfaces, perimeter joints, and the glazing system as a whole. And really, there's a lot to system integration, in order to drive towards those control layers. There's a lot of interrelations that are required within systems in order to create control layers for air, vapor, thermal, and water, basically keeping the elements out of the building, along with other important things like safety and aesthetics of the building as well. But trying to drive towards lower risk on building projects and making sure that control layers are in place through certification processes, which drive process controls and verifications for building installation, along with glazer knowledge and company knowledge. We see that there's a lot of common challenges in commercial glazing. One of the biggest things is that current specifications do not adequately address installer qualifications. So when construction documents are set up and specifications are initially established, the estimating process occurs according with specifications. Many times there's no specification as to what qualifications should be for the installer or the installer's entity for commercial glazing. That is a big problem for the industry. And I guess, when you try and establish installer qualifications, what do you call out? You could say that the business has been in business, or the company's been in business for a number of years, completed similar projects. You could, and really, what is a similar project? For many glazing projects now, because so many different applications of systems are done. But it's really difficult to create and quantify
verifiable qualifications. This certification program through the NACC, North American Contractor Certification, along with certifications for knowledge, skills, and abilities of glazers, which is also part of the initiative through the AGMT program, is a way of creating acknowledgement that the company has taken steps in order to have process controls in place and qualified staff in place. But there really is no consistent standard for glazer knowledge, or there hasn't been to date. There's different means of training glazers. And so this initiative as well is addressing the glazer knowledge piece as well through hands-on testing and as well as written testing. Systems have become more complicated and require greater technical expertise, and these process controls are helping to drive towards better adherence to the technical necessities of installing commercial glazing. Along with that, when something doesn't go right, there appears to be little analysis of the root causes of why a building leaks. It's always about fixing the leak. It's about fixing the issue, and not always about what occurred that led up to that issue. In order to make sure that errors aren't carried forward, and overall there's lower risk for building owners and owners of projects. So I guess process control, and what am I really talking about here? Through certification requirements, we're driving process control for glazing installation, glazing fabrication, through setting performance standards, looking at actual performance, comparing actual performance against industry approved standards, and having companies look at deviations and taking corrective actions when things are not installed correctly. There are non-conformances that come up in order to prevent things in the future from occurring. But I guess the questions we have to ask as an industry is, can glazing installations be improved through process controls? What do process controls mean? Quality controls in glazing, substrates, interfaces, and air barriers are all important. But what does this mean for whole building enclosure? So what I'm going to do today, since we just have a short period of time, is I'm going to take a look at the NACC program, specifically in the area of verifications. Verifications are another way of looking at quality checks that are done on a project. And so this concept is created through the NACC concept, which is having industry identified best practices and systems for installation, combined with competent management and fully trained and verified staff. Utilizing, and like I mentioned, verifications. And what is a verification? What are we talking about? I don't know, has anybody flown recently anywhere or flown in the past? When you get to the airport, one of the things you notice if you look out the window is it gets closer to the time for the flight, and the pilot arrives and the co-pilot. One of the things they do is they walk around the outside of the plane with an iPad or a checklist. And what they're doing is they're doing verifications of the systems on the plane. Are the indicators uncovered in the right place? Are all the blades and the turbines? Are the wings in the right place, and whatever else they're looking for, and verifying integrity and of that aircraft before it takes off. They then move to the cockpit and do the same thing, going through and doing system tests, verifying indicator lights, verifying warning systems, but step by step going through and doing these verification checks, or quality control checks, if you will, on the aircraft. It's allowed us to have lower risk when we fly. It's allowed us to look at the industry as a whole as safe, and a means of transportation that's one of the safest ways of getting around. So what are we trying to do in glazing with this? By certification requirements that require companies that are pursuing certification through NACC to have verification checklists in place. It's a means of telling supervisors within that company what to look for. It helps drive the importance of quality throughout the process. It elevates worker performance, and it helps identify trouble spots. So I'm going to take a look at an example here of what do we mean by verifications and what are we looking at in verifications. This is certainly not an all-inclusive list, but I just thought I'd throw an example up of what a verification checklist might look like for a curtain wall installation. So step by step, what this is doing is along the installation path, and then once the installation is done, stepping through and looking at potential trouble spots. Simple things like, is the frames plumb level square, shims installed, cap seal horizontal mullions, shear blocks in place, horizontal mullions sealed at vertical, zone dams, water dams sealed and tooled to not obstruct water flow, gaskets, and the list goes on. But what we're driving through certification is that we're trying to drive this consistency within glazing contractors, that they're utilizing checklists like this as part of their quality control and process controls in order to drive towards control of metalwork installation, water management, sealant applications, gasket applications, glass installation, and so forth, by having these cognitive checks. Again, think back to the pilot on the airplane. This is the same concept. We're using it for glazing. Creating this requirement for the industry is something that builds this consistency as contractors become certified. We're going back year after year and providing surveillance to make sure that they are adhering and utilizing checklists like this in every area. We have checklists. That we require for the opening to be glazed to verify that everything from the blue skin and the flashings in place to plumb level square to conditions of the opening, anchoring points, embeds, and so forth. And then, as the installation proceeds, looking at checklists for curtain wall, checklists for storefront, checklists for hardware installations, checklists for weep and water systems, water management systems, are all part of this requirements within the certification in order to drive the industry to higher standards. These are some examples. How could checklists help in these situations along with procedures? What we're doing is we're trying to eliminate non-conformances, substitutions that occur on job sites, things that are done without approval. This is an example of two different sill flashing heights, and the dams are omitted. And then to make it worse, they drilled through the sill flashing to which actually lowers the water entry point. This sill flashing, but things like this occur because there aren't procedures, processes, control of the process, and verifications that are being done. This is an example, of how that checklist that I just showed could verify certain areas. Like this is a horizontal cover plate, without weep holes drilled into it. So, do horizontal cover plates have the weep holes located on the bottom edge? And that would be a yes or no check, which would prevent issues later. Would verifications catch something like this? Are the horizontal pressure bar weep holes above the center line of the pressure bar? And whether you call them pressure bar caps or beauty caps or whatever, once those beauty caps are installed, things like this would not be seen. So having verifications along the way and making sure that those the pressure bar weep holes are oriented correctly, can avoid challenges and issues later. So in this example, this weep is actually supposed to be on the top of this bar. This bar is oriented upside down, but having a checklist in place is a way and means of making sure that items like this are caught. You can see the drawing in the lower left-hand corner. If it's not too small on your screen, it shows where the orientation of this weep hole should be. But a simple checklist of verification that is done would catch items like this. So the NACC program, glazing contractor certifications, is a means of driving this. How do we do this? We go out and we independently through third-party assessments with an annual multi-day on-site audits of company operations, verifying everything from business practices to safety practices contract administration, what's done from the time a job comes in the door and has to be estimated, to procuring materials, to project management of that job, verifying it meets customer expectations, along with contract administrative requirements and specifications. Quality control and glazing processes, which was just kind of the very short example that I gave you today. But having quality controls in place where there are written procedures, written processes in place, processes for looking at root cause analysis and correcting items that happen along the way, but really driving towards this second set of eyes approach as well, where these verification processes and following procedures is a way of having a second set of eyes along with the installer on these projects to make sure that each item is being reviewed, that there are quality control steps in place along the way, and then controlling glazing processes, both with fabrication occurs in shops as well as what's actually happening in pre-assembly on the job site, and then final installations on the job site, and following that up with these verification checks that I showed you a very brief example of today. As far as updates on the program, the NACC program, we currently have 95 contractors that are certified. We have this year we've done a little over 50 audits so far this year. We still have 52 more to go. We have some new companies in place as well. So by the end of the year, we should have about 102 companies, maybe more, that have become certified. Canada has been much slower to move in this direction. We've had a couple of contractors that have been certified, and currently only one that is certified in Canada. So it's certainly an area that needs some focus. It is an industry initiative. We do have Canadian board members, as well as Canadian committee members that are helping to drive this initiative for the industry. But we do not have full support from the Canadian glazing contractors yet on this program. The AGMT program is our knowledge, skills, and abilities test, hands-on test that is done for glazers. And we do have good support from Canada. We've been doing testing in Ottawa, Toronto, and also in Vancouver for glazers in order to get them up to speed on their knowledge, skills, and abilities for AGMT certification. And that is off and running and successful. But really, two programs with one mission of improving the industry and driving towards higher industry standards based on industry best practices and consensus within the industry, and trying to raise the bar, if you will. So I know it's a very brief overview. 15 minutes is kind of a hard time to cover a lot, but hopefully, giving this little taste of what we're doing gives you kind of a little, mini view of, some of the things that are happening in this initiative.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jeff. We just had a question here. In which state provinces is on-site support available in US and Canada?
So we travel. Our test rigs for testing glazers travel all over North America. They're in a crate format. They're shipped all over, and we send proctors and examiners to each area. The NACC program, we have virtual workshops that are available throughout North America, where I cover things like I just went through in much more detail on verifications, process controls, quality management systems, enhancements to safety programs. There's 9 different workshops in total. They each run about 1 hour each. We do them individually with glazing contractors. And then as far as actually implementing the program, we go on site with our assessors in order to provide certification audits for becoming certified, looking at each requirement through a conformity assessment and verifying each requirement is in place.
Super. Can you give us a sense of the cost for like the NACC program?
Yeah, I should have done the conversion earlier today, but it's $4,950 US. So about
Okay.
about $6,000, I believe.
Mhm.
60,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that sounds like a great.
Sorry, Brent, I'm going to jump in real quick.
Yeah.
Jeff, you were talking to me about some certification testing going on at Glassbuild. Can you give a 15-second, 30-second update on that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been really exciting. We did this last year at Glassbuild, but actually bringing the testing for glazers into full view. We test them on site at Glassbuild. We'll be running about 20 glazers through and having them test on site at Glassbuild, giving tours, walking everybody through that attends Glassbuild, that wants to see the process, walking them through and letting them see live testing in place. The testing is set up through rigs. We bring in test rigs. There's a curtain wall test rig that each glazer works on. There are multiple sets of them, and then multiple sets of storefront rigs, multiple ceiling rigs, and the glazers throughout the day will work their way through the circuit and test on each rig, and the people at Glassbuild will be able to see it. We've had great support from the industry. FHC has been providing 50% of the cost for glazers to take that test. Which has been extremely helpful. And then along with that, we've been testing at multiple facilities. We just tested at, Deb Levy's organization at Texpo when they did the Texas Expo. And we've been doing, on site at different manufacturer facilities as well. So there are opportunities in Canada as well where we can come on site and, if let's say a glass company wants to sponsor testing for glazers in the area, we can do it, and the company gets some recognition along with providing benefit to the industry as well. So I think that might have been more than 30 seconds. Sorry about that, Rich.
Yeah, no worries. It's great information. Appreciate it. And bribes are accepted and appreciated.
Glad to see you're using it.
You're going.
Favorite Yeti.
Wonderful. Thanks, Jeff. Really appreciate your time for explaining the program. That is the end of all the presentations today. Appreciate everybody being here. Stay tuned. We've got more, monthly meetings happening. If you want to get involved in the commercial glazing industry in Canada, talk to the FenCan guys. Rich is a great person. He's got a pulse on what's going on, any of the staff, and we'd love to, share what we're doing, and we're always looking for great people to be involved. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.